Expensive. Okay, that is about all the German I will speak tonight during this speech, so I can refrain from embarrassing myself in front of all of you tonight. Okay, ISU, International Summer University. I should never forget this experience I've had during this trip, and I'll tell you why. I've always seen an emphasis put on time, but the difference is every now and then it's actually carried out. I was just blown away at how punctual this trip was. It made me a little nervous because I did not want to wake up late. I didn't want to miss the bus, miss class, and get yelled at in German. Because to paraphrase what Professor Goodwin Aragusa said in one of his lectures, the time we have here in this classroom will never happen again in the history of mankind. He said this is the only time we should be together, and with that we should make the very best of this time we have. With Professor Aragusa's presentation on marketing to the bottom of the pyramid, the professor blew up this amazing but quietly kept phenomenon about the power that the 5 billion people at the bottom of the pyramid have. I looked at him as telling us of this great opportunity, but he did not let us get off that easy because he presented us with a challenge to address the problem, which wasn't easy. But this exercise personified what business is all about. It seems as if Professor Aragusa lives and breathes this material he teaches, which would make him the awesome professor that he is. Now to my fellow Northwood professor, Professor Gillen. I have to admit, when I first heard his voice, I thought he was going to be a very hard professor. I was a little scared, and I guess that is what all professors want to do to their students. But on a serious note, your presentation proved all of that untrue. He broke down the concept of a brand well enough to where he emphasized that brands are not just synonymous to business, they're synonymous to people. What stood out to me was some of the 10 commandments that a brand must follow. One of them is the second one, which was a brand must have emotional benefits to its consumers. To me, this is the greatest hook a brand can have, because when you get someone to feel what you're selling and he or she likes it, they will come back. The third is building your brand as early as possible. Business is time. Time is money. Money is success, and success is golden. But you must be that early bird so you can get all the worms. The fourth commandment is that your brand must be consistent over time. You must stay relevant. Why don't we have computers as big as this room? Why don't we have phones that look more like bricks? Why is it that Internet Explorer is getting their butts kicked by Google Chrome? Why is it that Charlie Sheen is not really winning? Why is it that LeBron James hasn't won a championship? And why is it that Hannah Montana or Miley Cyrus, we don't hear about her anymore, if anybody really cares? But to remain relevant, you must be real. To be real, your brand must reflect the values and attitudes of the current society and those to come, or you would end up like AOL or Yahoo. So now that we got the educational stuff out the way, let's talk about what really happened on this trip. Let's talk about all the drama and tension that went on when our professors weren't near. Right? No, I'm not really going to do that. But nothing much went on, but I would like to mention one of the more interesting moments of this trip. This has to be what I like to call Prezi versus PowerPoint. We met on Tuesday and everything was going awesome. Everyone was giving feedback. Part 1 and part 2 of the presentation was pretty much done, but now came that $1 million question. How do we present this? Some of the group mentioned Prezi, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the key that opened up the door. That was what put the fire to the rain, as Adele would say. Some felt Prezi wasn't professional. Some felt PowerPoint didn't offer that kick that we wanted. But we chose PowerPoint, not to appease anyone. But it was the most reliable, efficient, and effective way we could get the job done with the time we had. And that is business, doing what needs to be done, which can include not always what you want. Sometimes business is simply compromising. And with that compromise, the presentation turned out to be awesome, professional, and playful. Thank you, Bill Gates. I mention this instance because we must learn to look and laugh at yesterday and leave it there, but we must embrace it. Learn from it and use it to create a better tomorrow. But now with all of you, especially the ISU participants, Being with you these last 2 weeks, I've come to notice some aspects of you that are vital to not only business, but also building your personal brand, just doing you. First, Christy, Alexis, Sarah, whose her birthday is today, all of you have a kind and gentle spirit. I think it is the smile. But the persona you give off is one that is welcoming and friendly. And this is key, because not everybody can pull this off all the time, which is also a great aspect in women. Obviously, Kevin knows. Eric is a crazy and fun kid, but a businessman at night. He was reading this book called The Millionaire Next Door some nights, which is a pretty good finance book, personal finance book. So buddy, I think you're well on your way to being that millionaire next door. Keep it up. Steele was very happy and high-spirited our first night here. He wanted everybody to know that he was in many ways, but also I know that I can talk to him about the economy, talk to him about money, I can talk to him about business when the situation calls for it. He really knows how to mix work and play. Caitlin, you obviously have a style about you. I've noticed this the first day. It seems as if you've been building your brand for a while. Continue to do that. Do you and care not what others think. If we care less of what others think, that is more time to focus on and do you. Keep it up. Now this is a big group. Caitlin, Amanda, Emily, Ashley, and Alyssa, the UMass crew. All of you are women. You're analytical and dynamic, which is awesome. Because these aspects will lead you to a path of great success in the future. Also, there's another great aspect in women. You are true marketers. Keep it balanced and keep it up. RJ, even though a bit quiet, if I wanted to invest in any company such as Facebook, Apple, or Google, I know I can go to RJ and discuss the pros and cons about doing that. And when he starts his own computer and technology business, I will invest in that venture. You just have that tech guy look, which is very impressive. Kevin, we're all glad to see that you made it through the trip, even though it was a bit of a rough start for you, you still remain energetic, lively, funny, and uncaring of what others thought, which you need desperately in business to keep everything upbeat. Keep up that spirit and attitude. Will, I didn't know you before the trip, but now that I do, I know you will go far. You are a leader, but a team player. You're sincere and innovative. You too are a true marketer. You would do great at running your father's business or any other company. My Northwood brother, you will go far. Keep it up. Andrew, when I first met you, you immediately reminded me of Mark Zuckerberg. It is your persona. You just have that billionaire dollar type of look, if that makes any sense. You will be dynamic and influential. I know you have some great ideas under your sleeves. Hopefully you're pursuing them. Keep it up. John, when I first heard of you, I heard he was a crazy kid. But when I met him, I found him to be just different, one of a kind. You will be a visionary. You are a person who sees the big picture. You get what's going on, keep it up, and you will go far. Continue to do that. Grant, if anyone really wants to know how to say choose, ask. He will be more than happy to show you. You should really be an impersonator. I can see you doing well at that, but on a serious note, we have Grant, Brandon, Michael, and Austin. You all remind me of the movie Four Brothers with Tyrese and Matt Damon without shooting and drugs. But I say that because I think you all and the rest of your South Dakota buddies would do a great job at doing business together someday. You all are true brothers to each other, like a frat, and you need this union in business. And that is why I think all of you would be great at doing this. It all starts with an idea. It was once said that I do not know the key to success, but I do know the key to failure, which is simply trying to please everyone. But as I close, this is all to say that we have some amazing, talented, and intelligent people in this room, and that we can and will do a great deal to sustain a world that is not yet just. I thank the professors, all of you who could be CEOs and leading companies. That is how knowledgeable you are. The ISU team, you have been amazing. You're very hospitable, you're kind, and entertaining. You know how to show off Wolfsburg and have a great time. Professor Hofmeister and the Ostfalia University for welcoming us to your school, and Dan, the man in charge. Your leadership and organization has been remarkable. You are definitely on your way to great things. Now I close with this. Heute Abend trinken wir zusammen noch einmal. Machen Sie es gut, machen Sie es gut, machen Sie es gut. I said this. Tonight we drink together for one more time. Make it good, make it good, make it good. Done.